joining us right at the end of the game. It finished goalless between Ebbsfleet and Boston today. I think most importantly, what did you make of your team's performance in this one?
I think it was a dogged performance. It was a team of triers. It wasn't a purest game of football I've ever stood and watched. It was one that straight away again after the game, how do you assess it? You can assess it in two ways. We have to assess it in the positive way and say it might be a point at the end of the season that makes the difference. So you have to build off of a clean sheet. I want us to win every single game of football, including the home games. But that's my initial assessment after the game.
Better than Wednesday?
Similar. I think if anybody that was here Wednesday that see Wednesday's game, it was an error that was the difference, and it was a freak error that was the difference. So really similar in that aspect. In terms of, like I said, the performance, there was loads of players out there trying their socks off to compete and tackle, and I think it just was crying out for somebody to show a little bit more composure and get the ball down and make a 5-yard pass and then make a 10-yard pass and then try and go the other way.
Is that a bit of a symptom of where you are, effectively, that there is going to be that nervousness, perhaps that hesitation as well when it comes to those key moments?
Yeah, 100%. I don't usually bring this up, but the crowd in this stand, I thought were immense for us today. I thought really pushed us. I thought were brilliant. And I just wish that we could have given something. A late goal would have been unbelievable. It would have taken, it's given everybody a lift. But again, like I say, respect the point and move on.
And it did get stretched, didn't it? I mean, I wouldn't say cagey exactly for the first hour, but after that time, it did get... Is that tiredness? I suppose that's natural for both sides to go for the win as well? Yeah,
I think it was a little bit of everything. We changed the system again today a couple of times during the game to try and find the gaps within their team. So they was trying to figure us out, we was trying to figure them out. And like I say, two teams just fighting not to lose. When I spoke to the guys in there, I didn't know if it was a good point, an indifferent point, but some of the other teams in and around us haven't picked anything up today at all. So we have to respect that and like I say, wipe our mouths and move on.
I think Fylde and Maidenhead both losing this afternoon, as you pointed out. And looking at the team that you put out, as you say, you've changed formations during the game. Are you trying to adapt at the moment, or you're trying to make it difficult for the other sides as well? But is that something that's an ongoing process?
No, we're trying to find something. And that's me being 100% honest with everybody listening and everybody watching. We're trying desperately to find something, and I'm trying to find the players in the right combinations who can maybe rediscover form, or young players going in who play with just that natural enthusiasm to the game. So we're trying our best to find that.
And I know Max Mantelo was a story on Wednesday when he came on, and again he looks like a very good player indeed. I know you don't want to put too much pressure on him, and he's a young man, but you love to see it, don't you? Fans love to see players coming through their own academies and playing as the first team.
Yeah, I've got two jobs. My first job is to protect him, and protect him from people like you that are talking so highly of him, so he keeps his feet on the ground. And my second job is to play him if he deserves to be picked. And I've got to be big enough to do that. When a young player comes through, you might have to leave some big hitters out the team, and they have to wear that, and I have to wear that as the manager. But as long as anybody continues to perform at the required level or beyond, they'll be selected for this football club.
Obviously, other players on the pitch today putting in great shifts as well. Are you sometimes just looking for the final ball, that little bit of extra quality? Is it as simple as that? I was seeing particularly Bingham and Cosgrave doing a lot of great running off the ball, I thought, and trying to make the best of what they got. Is that an issue for you at the moment?
I think the ball's got to go in the goal. I think when the ball goes in the goal, it lifts the mood, it changes energy. I think you then get a taste for it. In a minute, we're going to wallop somebody. I know football. In a minute, we're going to wallop someone because we'll score early, then we'll score again, then we'll get a taste for it. That's what we need in order to turn it. But the other things you have to respect in football are the small margins and the small wins. So players speak in there as well. I allow them the floor. And the unanimous message amongst one another was, we've got to respect that point. It's something we can build off of. Midweek, we was really disappointed to lose the game. It was a very similar game. It was a very similar game against a team who were a lot higher up than us. We did well to nullify them. I would like us to have more in the final third. I would like our fans to have more to see attacking that goal in the second half of games. but we have to try and build on it and march forwards.
And you mentioned the fans today and sticking with you through this game. How important can they be? I know it's a two-way street, isn't it? You have to give fans, are paying public, come here and they want to see you win. It's not happening at the moment, but how important is their effort to you, I guess?
Yeah, it means the world. It's a real mixed opinion, which it will be. You're bottom of the league. We're not on double figures in terms of points yet. We're not playing scintillating, fast, front foot attacking football. We're having to grind results out and grind performances out. It's not going our way, but you say during the game, I'm talking before, during and after. See, after the game, one or two fans that were sort of sticking with the players and putting their own personal message across, and that has to have massive value for us in the changing room, because they're the people that we're playing for here. They're the ones that are paying the money that still believe. And I spoke before the game to the fans upstairs and I said, look, maybe what we need as the magic ingredient for this to turn is for you to back us. And they did today. They did. They backed us in numbers, and I heard them. And they cheered every tackle. They cheered every set play. They cheered every move in momentum. And we're going to need everybody. And I say that all the time, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. We're going to need everybody to get us out of where we are right now.
Still, the run you're on, I mean, as a manager, you have to be thick-skinned even at the best of times, don't you?
Yeah.
How does it affect you? Because everybody that's a professional in sport wants to win. You're not winning at the moment. How does that affect you as a person?
No, I have to be tunnel visioned, and we have to chase that exact point there. We need to go and win games of football, and what we do every day needs to reflect what goes onto the pitch. And right now that's not happening, but you have to trust what you're doing. You have to trust what your staff are doing. You have to trust what the players are giving you every day, and trust the messages and trust the meetings and trust the sessions. And it will turn. What I would say, what we've been doing around here recently is we've been putting patches of performances together, but not one complete 90 minutes. But look, there was issues before I got here, and there's issues here right now. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to plug the gaps, stop the water from coming in, and stop it from completely sinking. And that's going to take some drastic actions and things that we're going to have to be big and brave enough to do going forwards, and we're willing to do that.
An FA Trophy next weekend. You get a whole week to work with your players. Is that a bit of a relief at this point? Do you need more time, or would you be quite happy to have a midweek game at this point?
No, we have to box really clever with that, because then we go to the rescheduled game against Fylde on the Tuesday, and then following that we play Barnet. So we have to box clever with minutes, and we have to prioritise, and we have to be really blunt with how we're going to do that, and really honest with, the league is the absolute priority for us.
Yeah, and the trophy is a tricky one, isn't it, for teams at the bottom and top of especially of the National League, looking at your priorities?
Yeah, and again, I have to be big enough, and you mentioned being thick-skinned. You have to be thick-skinned, but you have to be big enough to put the club before everything. And right now, we need to stay in this division. So that's my priority 1, 2 and 3.
And you're still fighting?
Oh, listen, I'm sitting here now, talking to you, I'm buoyant, I'm speaking to the players in there, I'm looking at people in the eyes, and yeah, absolutely.
Harry, thank you so much for that. It's Harry Watling, the Absolute United manager, after this game against Boston.